Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Okay, let me see if I can switch over. Yes, guys. Yes, guys. 3 individuals in the building. 7 now. What's good, my people? What's good? We're gonna be reacting to the vibrations, brothers and sisters. Welcome once again to another vibrations right there. Of course, I was supposed to be doing this a minute ago, but for some reason my other phone wasn't working. I don't know, but I had to switch over to the next one. So we are back again. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna pull up for a little bit and wait for a number of you guys to come in. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, guys. I would appreciate that right there. And yeah, let's get active. For this one, you gotta be reacting to none other than the Parliament of Portsmouth, of course, for the 2024 budget. I just found it rather interesting what was being stated right there, and of course we're gonna be reacting to that right there. So I'm just gonna wait for a little bit so you guys can come in. Today's Tuesday. It's not one of the best days to do live interactions, but hey, when it comes up, you gotta do it right there. And the next one I'll definitely be doing, I definitely will be doing posting one of the talking points of Mr. Glenroy Coffee. For those of you guys who haven't seen the podcast that I did on Sunday with him, some of you guys actually did check it out. I appreciate you guys for definitely being a part of this. And like I indicated before, guys, don't forget to thumbs up the video. And I'll be waiting for a little bit right there. It's just interesting to see what's happening in Parliament right now. You know, I think sometimes when they say Parliament, they really mean Parliament. Parley. You just come to talk, and you know whatever you feel like saying, even if you're really not sure what you're saying is accurate or not. It just sounds good, you know, so you say it. that's how I think people come. Well, most of the people who come on onto the Parliament, they just speak because it sounds nice to say things, you know. Especially I think of the president, who apparently seems to have been reading a speech that was not hers. Well, it doesn't seem like it was hers. It could have been, but it's just that it seems like there was an advancement on her part to advance a certain agenda, and that agenda pretty much had nothing to do on the basis of Dominica. Because one of the things that is being promoted by Caribbean governments, and I think the Caribbean governments just want to get, you know, some sort of monies or something, where they promote this climate change thing for them to get monies. But I'm asking myself, well, if you get these monies, what exactly are we going to be doing for us to curb that climate disaster that apparently humans are causing? Now, keep in mind, I've heard officials saying that, you know, it's not the Caribbean that is causing it or causing these disasters to happen. They're saying that the bigger countries are the ones doing this. So my point here would be, why would we want to get monies, or why is there an advancement to push the global agenda of climate change? I don't get it for the Caribbean. Okay, but let's say, okay, fine, something is happening, maybe we're using too much vehicles or something. Fine. Okay, when we get these monies, what are we going to be doing? Let's say they give each Caribbean island $1 billion for climate change. when we get these monies, what exactly what are we gonna be doing when we get these monies? Are we gonna be putting things in place to implement or be implementing things, to stop climate change? I mean, considering it is not the Caribbean that is causing it, so we getting money to do what exactly? I just thought I'll just put that out there, since it always interests me when I hear certain people talking about climate change and these kind of things there. On the basis of that same topic that I'm talking about right now, guys, for the individuals who are coming in, we're going to be reacting to the 2024 budget debate, the part that deals with the Portsmouth Parliamentary. So that's what we're going to be doing right now in a few minutes. But I was just talking about the whole climate understanding, since I heard the president talking about that in her speech, her quote unquote speech. So with that understanding, how does that benefit or help climate change? I know we can grow trees. I think that's one of the ways Dominicans can actually help. Maybe would get a set of money to build back trees. I've heard when I did the podcast with Mr. Ezra Rima, one of the individuals involved in the coffee industry in Dominica. He was talking about the $1 million, not $1 million, 1 million tree, replanting 1 million trees. Was that ever done? Can you guys let me know if the planting of the 1 million trees was done? I'm not really sure, but they've been saying these kind of things right there. So anyways, I know some individuals wanted me to drop. God, man. I should have sent the link out. Trishata, big up yourself one time. Welcome to Puffy. Big up one time. Let me send the link out, man. I think I should send the link out. That's something I always lapse in, because I was checking, once you come on, people just drop into the videos, but I realize most people tend to shift to the Mr. X React channel, since I don't regularly drop on the Brbptv platform like I used to back in the day. But let me just share this out right there. Welcome to Puffy. Trishata, I see you drop a new music track, a new music video right there. So big up on that track. You didn't send it to me. Somebody had sent it to me and stuff, but big up Trishata one time. Okay, let me send this thing right there. By the way, what is the song entitled? If you want to type it in, you can let us know what is the song, the entitled song for YouTube. Okay, let me share this out. Another. Okay. Do a reaction, bro. Bless up. Bro, I don't mind doing a reaction on it. The problem is I still have other videos that I have to do reactions of. So I want to try my best to get this covered before I do another one right there. But I'll keep your stuff in mind. Hopefully, I will get to do a reaction on that sometime. But yeah, man. Once it's positive vibrations, I always for that. A number of persons always tell me, Mr. Leaks, react to this, react to that. And then when I'm listening to the video, full set, I'm like, bro, I can't put this out there, bro. I can't put this out there. But yeah, True Shatter, if you guys want to go check him out on YouTube, He has a song called How Them I Go Stop Me? How them I Go Stop Me Now? And it's True Shatter official music video right there. So you guys can probably go check that out on YouTube. But hopefully I will try to do a reaction on it. Don't hold me to task if I don't, based off what is happening. You know, I don't know, man. Sometimes the reaction just come and that's how it is sometimes, bro. That's how it is sometimes. So yes, I Uvers, good vibes. Okay, Uvers. Well, big up being Uvers. One time, I don't know what that means. Overseas. But yeah, guys, let me see what is the time on this thing. I say when it's 10 minutes, I always go. Okay, I have like, whoa, what's going on? Oh, okay. I think this thing was buffering a while ago. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna start right now, guys. If you've not done so, don't forget to click the thumbs up button right now so we can get the vibrations going. And of course, I would appreciate that right there. But let us get into it with none other than the legendary from Portsmouth. First of all, the person that who does the audio for this thing, you guys need to make the audio a bit louder, okay? Whoever is handling the stuff. I know some of you guys watch my video, so we are the Portsmouth representative right there.
Yes, Honorable Wenham, you have the floor. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand and the emotions that I feel are so much, and the passion, and to hear people say, no, certainly not cosmetic, those are real, the real deal. The Labour Party representatives are the real deal. I'm not sure what others, says that, but the Labour ones for certain. So, if you hear, or if you see me having too much passion, Mr. Speaker, you can give me a little nudge, you know? Mr. Speaker, it's about a year ago that I was here, we were here, and I pledged my support to education first and foremost at all levels, and to date, it is the same.
Who's that partner at the back there, Mr.? He looking like the St. Lucia priest there. Anyways, let's continue.
Today, I am pleased to have the attention of all of my colleagues in the Honorable House, and of course, to the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica, both here and abroad. And Mr. Speaker, most importantly, the most industrious and thriving space, and just recently, we saw the most beautiful space in the Caribbean, and that is in Portsmouth. So,
as she's saying that there, I think she's referencing the top 20 or top 25 cities in the world that apparently didn't have any other Caribbean island on it, but Portsmouth made the top 20 or top 25 cities in the world. That's probably what she's talking about there, right there. I wonder if this was paid for, because I find it's hard to believe. Don't get me wrong, Portsmouth is beautiful, man. Portsmouth is beautiful, but when I look at the information that they provided as a result of why it was beautiful, it had absolutely nothing to do with the city itself. One of the reasons why they gave it the top 20 was because it was one of the places that was hardly known. So it's very interesting when I saw that reading right there.
So to the people of Portsmouth, Mr. Speaker, before I continue, I also want to take the opportunity to pay tribute to some greats that I have lost in my constituency. Mr. Torley, Mr. Speaker, who is the grandfather-in-law of my dear friend and brother, our Ambassador Ian Douglas. And also to extend condolences to the families of Mr. Paddington. Just a few months ago, we celebrated his 100th birthday. And
big up the centenarians out there.
You know, that is a man that's like a home man. Just a few, 2 miles actually from Portsmouth itself. And also my good friend in Doda, Nathan, I want to wish him a speedy recovery. And there are some women that their history, their legacy in the Dominica Labour Party and their long service model always calls to either wish us good luck or to give advice. Mafifin, they're all faithful, strong with the party. And of course, to salute all of the greats in the Portsmouth constituency. Mr. Speaker, greetings again, there with a lot of emotions and positive ones as I stand to support the proposed budget as outlined by our Honorable Minister of Finance, the Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre. I'll start off with the Ministry of Education, Mr. Speaker. Our motto speaks to excellence, national excellence. And the ministry is always eager to have the high pass rates in implementing its projects, its programs, and its activities. And work is always ongoing. And I want to see us have 100% pass as we work into this year again, and of course beyond. When people say we're not working or we're not putting budgets into effect, Mr. Speaker, those things, they touch on it, but
it's true. For example, agriculture. We literally had that conversation with none other than Mr. Glenroy Coffey, when we're talking about the agriculture and the things that they are locating in the for the budget. Agriculture was one of them. Agriculture, they stated that agriculture would have had $15 million. I think that was the 2022-2023 budget, or the 2023-2024 budget. They talk about agriculture. Agriculture had $15 million. How much was used? Less than 1/3 of it was used. So when she come in and say this there, and talking about she's emotional about it, I mean, actual reality will let you know that even if you're emotional about it, that is a true fact. They are allocating funds for the budget, but they're not fully utilizing it. My question when I asked Mr. Glenroy Coffey on the basis of agriculture was, how do they set this up? Don't they have to say, okay, like when you're doing a budget plan or a business proposal plan, you have to write out how much or where these monies are going to be allocated, for what reason, and then you put down the totals, and then whatever total that is at the end, then you know how the money is going to be spent, and then you have the total. So they give you the total for the business plan. Apparently in Dominica, they don't seem to be doing that. They just give a total figure and that's it. And then at the end of the year, you don't know how these monies are spent. You just know that all the monies was not spent. And then all of a sudden you see in the office of the Prime Minister's budget going up. It went up. I saw the actual listing, I saw the listing. Anyways, let's continue.
don't worry. The Ministry of Education continues to show consistency, and we see it, we hear it. The public, they're always pleased. They're pleased with our performance. And this ministry is probably one of the most stable ministries. We see more of our students getting to the B's and the C's in the primary level, and we continue to hold our own in the CSEC examinations. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to say this one slowly, and you will understand why.
I want to understand,
Our BOYS, our boys, Mr. Speaker, I have to commend them. The boys are excelling, especially those in our primary schools. And if they're excelling in primary school, Mr. Speaker, you know what is going to happen by the time they get to secondary level.
Not really. It doesn't correlate, no? Just because you're doing well in primary school means you're going to be doing well in secondary school. I know people who were doing well in primary school, when they reach secondary school, it's like, whatever. I know people who were not doing well in primary school and decided, hey, let me take my life more seriously. And in secondary school, they elevated. I did better in mathematics in high school than I ever did in primary school. I did better in mathematics in college than I did in high school. Anyways.
Students across the board are continuing to excel.
But I'm guessing she's talking generally, so if the boys are doing well, that's always a good thing.
And we want to ask our parents, our teachers, to just continue supporting the work that the ministry does.
What is the work that the ministry did? I always hear people talk about the work that this person did, the work that this person did, and it's, there seems to be some sort of results as a result of that. What is the work that the ministry has done? Do you guys know? I would like to know if you guys know as well.
In education, our pertinent project areas continue to be construction of our new schools. These are on course as work has begun, and I am sure that my Minister of Education will expound on these a bit more in her own presentation. Rehabilitation of our existing school structures and enhancing our school safety net programs.
Well, based off that, I can see, I see something going on when it comes down to the revitalization of schools, the building back of school by the Chinese and these kind of things. People there, I'm guessing that's what she's talking about.
By now, Mr. Speaker, those schools, the names of the schools should be on the lips of every Dominican.
Why? Why?
We have funding from the generosity and good relationship with the People's Republic of China. Those
I kind of figured it was somewhere along that line.
things cannot go unnoticed. We have the Center of Excellence for Technology and Vocational Education and Training. The new Tibo Primary School, which will be our Center of Excellence for Special Needs. And not too far from us, we have the construction of the Dominica Grammar School ongoing. We have had upgrades to the Caleb Laura and Sally primary schools, and ongoing works continue at Bakatel.
Guys, is she the PS for education or something? I don't know.
Mr. Speaker, to talk about the school safety net programs, the Labour Party-led government is investing in infrastructure and in its people.
How is it investing in its people? Building homes for the people is investing in its people, or creating jobs, or creating the ability for people to make more money? The investment. Because if you're investing in something, you need to see the output. Not true. If I'm building a house for you and I put you inside there, what exactly is the output? What exactly is the output, guys? If you guys know, I would like to know that in the comment box below, or in the live chat actually.
And the people are our greatest assets.
That's true.
The human resource. And we're doing that by enhancing the learning environment for better functionality. We do know that for us to thrive and for us to be better individuals, a good space, a clean space, a fresh space, good environment is important.
That's true.
And so the Ministry of Education knows that and focus is placed there. In fact,
the focus is placed there. Where is that? Where? How can we visually or objectively see what you're talking about? Because one of the things I noticed with the DLP team, and I've listened to some of the other folks, they say a lot of generalisms without actually pinpointing what exactly they're talking about. So I would really like to see or hear, okay, we have done work here. Okay, what is the work? The work we've done is to put get new modernized technology that can facilitate or to keep with the times, so that the children, they get to learn how to you know, do certain things that they would not normally learn if they have not obtained these equipments. You know, they are learning certain things outside the world to adapt, because we are forever changing in society. What exactly has been implemented, or what is the work that has been done?
to show government's deep interest there, the third highest allocation is with the Ministry of Education. Technically, we don't have a choice, and this money is being invested to empower, to train, and to build capacity for a more productive workforce.
How? Hopefully she says how.
That is what we need at this time. To date, we have some
Wait a while.
power to have a
Wait, I think she said this money is being invested, and then says that that's what we need at this time. Hold on.
choice, and this money is being invested to empower, to
This money is being invested
train, and to build capacity for a more
to build, so it's being invested to do something.
productive workforce. That is what we need at this time.
Maybe it just made that done. Let me see what you guys are saying. Dominica Vibes. Mr. Lix, I'm happy you're looking at this from not just one metaphor. Well, I'm just speaking, giving my views on it. Saying how I feel. I'm hoping that you guys say the same thing too. Nick Rondura is saying Octavia not doing nothing. Yeah, because she's saying that there's work being done in the educational system. Fine. Okay, great. All right. Work is being done in the educational system. How? How, brothers and sisters? How? That is what I want to know. Don't just say work is being done and telling us how work is being done. One of the things that she mentioned was on the basis of what I thought before when it's coming to the Chinese, is that the Chinese are actually building up new schools. They're not using the local people, they're building it using the Chinese. So you cannot say that schools are not being developed because the Chinese are doing it. Even if you're looking at a more nationalistic point of view, you want your locals to help build their own schools, and give them monies to them so they can circulate in the economy. Okay, we want that is, all right. But the Chinese are building it, so that is something that is actually happening, regardless of whether you want the locals or not. But she's talking about things and work, and we're not sure how this work is being done or implemented. So, anyways, guys, let's continue.
To date, we have about 1,050 teachers employed and 73 principals, Mr. Speaker.
How many of them are appointed? So it's good that we have teachers. Great. Round of applause. Teachers help to further the education of the youth. Even I remember being around some of my teachers. and one of them always asking me for money, man. He's still in his thing, he's still doing his thing. But he always asking me for money. I said, well, you teach me. You're supposed to be far better than me. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, guys, let me continue right there. Oh, I see some of all you mentioned. Okay, let me see. Dominica Vibes. Portsmouth Pal Rep have weekly or bi-weekly meetings, Q&A with her constituencies. More people need to go and give their points and ask questions and have meaningful discussions. Really? I never knew this was happening. Do people show up for these meetings? You saying that the Pal Rep has weekly or bi-weekly meetings? But okay, let's say she is actually having weekly or bi-weekly meetings to discuss what? What exactly? I'm not seeing anything happening in Portsmouth to be having question and what we're going to ask. Because we're not really seeing anything happening in Portsmouth. I see they build some kind of concrete thing. Maybe it's for tennis that day. Maybe that's what I should go and ask. What is that thing there? Is it a tennis court? I don't know. But weekly and bi-weekly meetings. Is that a question, Dominica Vibes, or because I see a full stop there? Because you say Pal Rep have weekly or bi-weekly meetings, which means you're not sure. Anyway, Shannon Cadet. For a minister, she cannot talk properly, nah? Well, she just have the Dominica dialect, man. Like for me, for example, I remember back in the day where I used to speak, man, so pristine. But I see the Jamaicans and Trinidadians talking with the dialect when they're doing their stuff. So I was like, why should I be doing that too? So I just dropped that by the B. Well, I guess it depends on the settings. Because when you're in a different setting, you have to speak properly. But that to me is not really a issue. I think more the issue here is you talk about the work. What is the work that is being done? By telling the youth to go and shake their pampa. Yeah, she wants people to form the harlot, man. Anyways, let's continue. Not thing Octavia, Pampalam, shake your Pampalam. Issa Banton really make a song about that.
Education and my area of specialization, the reform, that is enshrined throughout the budget. I don't know if people see that.
No,
it's a time for us to use our imagination.
Oh, okay. Our imagination. All right.
And we continue to work with our principals, our students, our teachers.
I've actually spoken to a number of principals, and they are not exactly happy how the school is being run because they feel like sometimes they are restricted in their efforts when they're trying to do certain things. Some of them are literally trying to leave. They want to organize whatever they're organizing so that they can leave. I mean, that doesn't seem much. I mean, it's not everybody. I have talked to a handful of them, and that's pretty much the sentiment that I've gotten amongst them. So,
our businesses as well, and other education partners in evaluating where we are in the education process, and to see how we
You can see she trying to think of things to say, guys. It's not necessarily applicable to reality because what she's saying doesn't apply to reality whatsoever. She talking like she not sure. Shannon Cadet said that, yeah. It's just like you're just trying to put words together for you to say certain things. Dominica Vibes, go to meetings and find out. Where is these meetings, Dominica Vibes? Where are these meetings? First time I'm literally hearing about this. Which means that deciphering information is not being out there or no, has not gone out there. Pie in the sky promises. I wouldn't necessarily say pie in the sky promises. I'm saying that we do not know what she's talking about. That's what I can say right there. She sounds uneducated. Nah, I wouldn't say she's uneducated. Maybe she's nervous or something. But she is definitely not uneducated at all. Imagination. Well, based off the imagination stuff, I will have to agree with you right there. Let's continue.
Can look at employability for our people as we move through the various...
Wait. She talk about employability. Me that means something. Hold on.
Process, and to see how we can look at employability for our people as we move through the various areas in education.
Oh, she's talking about employing more people in education. What about the appointment of people who have been in education for 5, 10, 15 years? And these people have not been appointed yet. So what about the appointment of individuals?
Meaning primary, secondary, tertiary, and beyond that. And also to Mr. Speaker, because some people have the notion that reform is something like Nescafe, where you just open the packet, put it in hot water, and that's it.
No, that's definitely not it. You have to go through it when it comes down to reform. Is she talking about electoral reform or educational reform? If you're doing educational reform, you have to literally sit with people who actually know, sit with the teachers, sit with the principals, sit with the parents, and discuss certain things. I think when it comes down to education, it's a community thing, not just I say do this and do that, or teach this and teach that. Or we're taking things from people from overseas because we say, oh, they are first world countries, so let's take what they're doing and bring it down to the Caribbean, which of course has absolutely nothing to do with the Caribbean people because there's a different culture, different environment. I think that would be essential, but that's just from me right there. Let's continue.
But if I'm to use the coffee analogy, you still have to open the packet. You still have to get the water hot, because it doesn't just melt. Some of us have preferences. I'm sure Honorable Lloyd here prefers to have cream in his coffee. So, and some people like sugar, some don't. So reform is the same manner. It's a process. So for those people who think it's overnight, sorry to have to disappoint you, but it is a process.
Okay, I think I know where she's going with this one. Yes, I agree there's a process, but a process must have an end. You cannot tell me for donkey years, over 10, 15 years, you still talk about a process. If she's talking about the education system, how is it that other places, forget other places, how is it that other Caribbean islands are able to make drastic changes? Utilizing the same process, but they have a time frame in which they can implement their stuff. Mayor Motley is one of them, Barbados. Barbados was one of the individuals that decided, hey guys, we need to bring back something like Ted Vok. And they implemented it. Dominica had it, and it's a process apparently, but we take it out, but we actually need it again today. So is it an elevation in the process, or is it a decline in the process right there? Because we need people with trade, we need people with certain abilities. Not everybody can be a doctor, not everybody can be a lawyer. So how do you meet the demand, especially if you're trying to adapt to the country and what the country needs? It needs more plumbers, it needs more electricians, it needs people of that sort, because not everybody's academically inclined. And I think the people who feel the worst when it comes down to the economy are those who are academically inclined, because they cannot transfer the skills in the academia to actual reality. If something has to happen, I remember one of my psychology teacher in college was stating that with all her degrees that she has, she still has to call the electrician to change a light bulb. and she has to pay like $100 for him to change her light bulb. $100 to change a light bulb. When her light is gone, she still has to, because that's the man's price. You want your light bulb changed. If anything has happened, you have to do a little something. So you're making all your degrees and what have you, and then you still cannot change your light bulb. I think that's kind of interesting. Right there. Let me see what some of you guys are saying right there. Shannon is saying, Lord, what is this lady really saying? I lost. She trying her best, man. Is this her first time? I don't know if it's her first time. It's the first time I seen her. Well, I'm reacting to her. Mysteries. Who is Mysteries? Mr. Alex, you stay in Posse and you don't know where the meeting. I don't know. Nikron, hopefully Dominica Vibes can tell me where it is. July 12th and July 18th for the last 2 meetings at the Glanville Community Center. Well, I wasn't there. I don't know. July 12th, where was I? I was out of state. I don't think I was there though. Yeah, I definitely wasn't there. Anyways, so why Shannon is saying, so why the people of Posse didn't know about it? I don't know. Usually when they have meetings or something of that sort, you would think that they'll put this on Facebook, or they'll have the person with the microphone in the vehicle passing around announcing this thing. I am not sure. Maybe they did it for their youth organization. So they maybe did it for the Portsmouth LYO. I don't know if that's what they call it, but the Portsmouth Youth Arm, Labour Youth Arm, maybe that's who they sent out that information for. Not necessarily everybody, because I had no clue that this was even existing. Anyways, I just saw it on Facebook. Really? Okay, well, cool. I want to hear about them Posse meeting me. Yeah. It's interesting. Well, I would think that they probably would maybe have some sort of video on social media recording it for other people to see, or they just have it privately. But that's the very first time, by honest God, that's the very first time I'm hearing about this meeting stuff. But then again, what would be the relevance of the meeting? What exactly? We're not really seeing anything happening. We're just coming to talk. And if you're having a meeting that deals with Portsmouth, wouldn't the Portsmouth people need to know about it? So that everybody can actually come and have a meeting and talk about it? I didn't see anything.
So don't let it seem like it's a snap your finger business and you will see change. No, it's a process.
Nobody thought that. Nobody ever thought that.
Yes. In fact, there are countries who have started education reform more than 30 years ago. It's still in progress. Yeah. So to think that we are backwards.
Which country are you talking about? So wait a while. So if other countries started educational reform 30 years ago and they still have not done it, is that an excuse for Dominica to be like, okay, let's do 30 years as well? Sometimes, I don't know. And 30 years ago is a generation, way. So how you have education reform 30 years ago? Make it make sense. Because to me, not every 15 years there's an adaptation that takes place now. That means two generations. We should talking about there. So, you sure, Fenella, you sure you have that correct now? You sure? Which countries? Boy, I would love to have Fenella on the podcast. I would love to have her on that podcast, boy.
People like to use those terms. I don't understand why. To think that we are backwards, no, Mr. Speaker, we're not. And
we are backward. We had trade schools and these things back in the day. We don't have it anymore. That's kind of going backward. Not true?
We're moving in the right direction. And we are going to see how government, by investing, mind you, they said we're not putting enough, you know.
But wait a while, the last budget, did you guys see that there was any money allocated for education? Because I remember doing a reaction on that and I did not see any education sector. Maybe it was under something or disguised as something else. But I was looking for the education. I remember comparing both of them. There was 2 budgets. The one before and then the one before this one. So I was comparing them. The first one I had education on it, the education department. The second one did not have the education department on it. So maybe this was disguised as something. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, you know. In the last budget before this one, guys, was there an education sector that, and how much money was allocated for the education sector? Let me see what you guys have to say idea. We are backwards, yeah. Mr. Leaks Dominica last in everything, yeah. Reginald Austria literally said that, and we still last in everything. But she's saying that we are advancing. How are we advancing? Can anybody tell me how is Dominica advancing in the educational system? Because to be advancing, you must be seeing concrete objective change. And then when you see concrete objective change, you see the results from it. But if you don't even have any substance to weigh that in, how then can you even calculate the results without actually having the objective change? Boy, that is something else, boy. That is really something else. Anyways, let's continue.
But they still say so much money. But we're going to see the returns on our investment. I can guarantee that, Mr. Speaker.
How can you guarantee that? How? Without actually showing us the proof that the work and things that have been done is actually going to show some sort of merit. We don't even know the work that is being done outside of building schools. But maybe it's just me that ignorant, guys. Maybe I'm ignorant of this information. Maybe. But I'm hoping in my ignorance that you guys can help me. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below exactly what she's talking about when she's talking about educational progress and 30 years of educational reform. All you good. All you really good, boy. You really good.
As this money will translate into a better and more productive human capital. In addition, we need an intelligent workforce, Mr. Speaker, given the nature of the projects that are now gripping the national psyche.
I agree with her. We need. Why do you think we need? Is it because people have the educated people? They're talking about brain drain has taken place in Dominica. They always talk about brain drain, literal people, and I can tell you I know this for a fact because some of the individuals who I know were very smart. Some of my classmates who I know were very smart. Even though I saw like one or two of them, one of the very smart ones, they are stuck in Dominica. They cannot go nowhere. They're stuck. Literally stuck. There's nothing going for them. They're just surviving on the mediocre jobs that they have in Dominica. Those who left to go overseas, serious brain drain is taking place. Even laborites themselves are trying to escape Dominica. So you're definitely right when you say you need. But how do you bring back the people? Because most likely the people are going for betterment. As I'm saying that there, I'm thinking of somebody who's going out. They're leaving Dominica soon. For them to go to another Caribbean island, for them to start a new life. People are leaving Dominica by the droves. And this is why you're mentioning we need. But if people become educated and it's not conducive for them to stay in Dominica, why would they stay? Because Dominica, with that thought process, Dominica will be constantly in need.
Mr. Speaker, I'm convinced that we are rapidly becoming an even more intelligent nation.
Oh boy. Get me started. Don't even get me started on that one right there. So we are brain drained, but we're becoming more educated and intelligent. What is intelligence? I think that is the defining point. Because it seems like people tend to ascribe their meanings or the definitions to words. What is intelligence? I think that is the key factor here. Because to me, intelligence is when you're presented with new information that counteracts your bias and changing to adapt to the new information. That is a level of intelligence. But when you have constantly been bombarded with information that is not accurate, like for example, some of the things that she's saying, it doesn't seem to be relevant to reality, but she feels like she needs to say it. So you're getting this information. What exactly is the intelligence basis of anything that she's saying here that can be applied to the reality of Dominica? But then again, she did have an important point where she said, we need. I think I will stick to that point. We need. Yeah.
We are building safe environments and enhancing the development of skill sets. We invite our people to begin to think, of how we can integrate units, actions, and programs each sector, from health to agriculture, fisheries to tourism, housing, and housing as a human need, community development, and how those developments will.
I don't think I can say nothing on that. Let me see what you guys are saying right there. Let me see, hold on. We are back, Mr. Okay. Nick Ron is saying Dominica is under the stones, under the water. Oh boy. Dominica, thank God, God has blessed Dominica to sustain his people. So when the people fail, at least Dominica can still sustain the people with fruits and vegetation and stuff for them to eat. Nick Roy is saying shame. Dominica vibes, the government dropped the ball when they didn't contract the students that receive government scholarships to go overseas to study. They should have been compelled to pay the government back or return. I think I understand what you're saying, but I think most of them, I agree with you. I agree with you because there are many people who have obtained government scholarships, and instead of coming back to Dominica, they stay overseas when they get jobs and stuff. But I think there's a clause where if you don't come back to Dominica, you have to pay back the tuition. I think the question here is, has individuals been paying back the tuition, or the government pretty much doesn't care about that? But then again, if you're thinking of paying back tuitions and then the government hasn't been paying tuitions and you're still in a hoopla, you're trying to figure out what's your next step. I think that is also a problem too, because just recently the government paid, I think, did they clear Midwestern or they were close to clearing it, and that's just one school. So I think that is an interesting thought process right there. Shannon, students doing well overseas. Yeah, students have to do well overseas because they know if they don't do well, they're coming back to Dominica. You can see the lies in her eyes. I don't think she's lying. I think she's trying her best to put words forward, but it's not necessarily, applicable to the things that she's saying. Let's just leave it that way.
Serve in the education reform movement, Mr. Speaker. This year's budget meets the demands of all departments, and we are pleased for that. Essentially, we strive to build a productive workforce, expressing productive behaviors, and I like to repeat.
How are we striving to build a productive workforce? How, guys? Guys, I don't know, This is why I tend to do these reactions, this live interaction, so I can get your views as well. What is she talking about, man? How is government striving to build a productive workforce? How? You need to create jobs for that, way. You need to have vital training for these things, way. When nurses complaining, some of the professions that actually, people look up to these professions, they themselves are quarreling. Hey, we need training, we need equipments, we need this, we need that. How? What? And then the people in the education system, they're going to be leaving the education in schools. From students, you leave schools to go and find a job. And then you end up, I'll never forget, one of my friends, he did not listen to me when I tell him to organize himself. He said, I have time, man, he have time. He ended up coming back Dominica, and his national employment program that pick up the boy. NEP pick him up. You come from States after studying and you come down Dominica. He finally left, I think sometime last year, for him to go to another Caribbean island. So when it comes down to a productive workforce, you need people who have come with certain skill sets or new knowledge to come in, but apparently they are not getting to use the knowledge that they or getting paid adequately to use that knowledge. So they leave to go to other countries to get a better standing for themselves.
Things, Mr. Speaker, because repetition is what will stick or get the idea to stick. So when you hear me repeating, you should know why. Let it stay there for those naysayers.
Yeah, but I think we need to visually see. It's not just repeating. You need to visual. If you're constantly doing things in the place, people say, hey, but things are actually happening. But no, instead of actually doing it, you want to say it's been done, and we're not visually seeing it. I think that's a That's a contradiction right there.
Productive behaviors, they percolate to efficiency and also to, we need to incorporate that efficiency and, let me see, effectiveness in
I
our
kind of figured that's the word she was trying to look for. But yeah, that's cool.
workforces. So that is what we are here to do.
I
Or
didn't get
that
that.
efficiency and, let me see, effectiveness.
Hold on.
See, and also efficiency.
Hold on.
Productive behaviors, they percolate to efficiency and also to, we need to incorporate that efficiency and, let me see, effectiveness in our behaviors, they percolate to
The behaviors, they lead to
efficiency
efficiency.
and also to, we need to incorporate that efficiency and, let me see, effectiveness in our workforces. So that is what we are here to do. And Mr. Speaker, I'll quickly move along to my constituency, and I like to talk about the pie. So our piece in the pie, we have a nice slice.
With
And
what?
I like to talk about the pie. So our piece in the pie, we have a nice slice.
Oh, the pie. I think it's the party she's saying. The pie.
Housing remains one of the most critical areas in the constituency and for most of our constituencies, especially since the passage of Hurricane Maria. Since
Well, I think that is because the people are not doing well when it comes down to the economy. And you guys are the forerunners of the economy. You guys have not done what needs to be done. For example, building factories. I mean, that's a given. Building factories would then be able to help the agricultural sector, and the agricultural sector will help the tourism sector. That will then also help other sectors, including the educational sector, so you can get new materials, new resources to do things in the educational sector. But since there's not much money circulating amongst, or not just circulating, but money being allocated and actually being used in these different sectors, then the economy wouldn't do well at all. I mean, it's like a domino effect. I mean, one must connect, but you must look at the root. Agriculture is the root of the Caribbean.
since I came into office, Mr. Speaker, I have seen 6 Kudme homes built, roofs renovated. 12 constituents would have received their homes from the Housing Recovery Project and the EU. We have others who have received other forms of housing assistance. And I know that housing remains one of the top priorities for our constituents. And I've been informed too that in the coming year, this year, we'll have about 3 more homes ready for the owners.
Okay, will they be getting their titles? Have persons in Portsmouth gotten titles for the homes that they have been given? Or will they be getting apartments, and you call these apartments homes, which means that they cannot own these apartments? Because to me, when I look at the buildings that have been given in Portsmouth to people to stay in, it seems to be apartments and not necessarily homes. Why is she saying homes or houses as if they are being given houses, single houses, and not apartments? Let me see what you guys are saying right there. Hopefully you guys answer some of my questions. I know the lies. Survival of the fetus. The fetus? You mean the fetus? Survival of the fetus, Brandon. Here in the Commonwealth. Dominican vibes. Hothead. Where? We didn't see her doing nothing. Puffy. Big up DJ Hothead one time. Rayon Austria. Greetings, everyone. Big up yourself, Rayon. Who wrote the speech? Did she practice it? I think she wrote her own speech. I think she wrote her own speech. Maybe she didn't have persons to review it, or maybe she was just nervous. I'm thinking she was probably nervous in presenting her speech right there. Rayon Austri, you related to Reginald Austri, man. Your name starting with R. look like she's struggling to present. Baby, you see, guys, I'm not really focused on if she's nervous or struggling. I'm looking at what she's saying and what she's saying on the basis of, reality, on objective reality, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm looking at right there. And it doesn't seem, it's like, pie in the sky. She talk about pie. Everybody have to get a piece of the pie, but the pie is still in the sky. That's what I'm getting right there. Let's continue.
That being said, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to quote something from the budget presentation, and permitting that, I read directly from my notes, Mr. Speaker, if you have permission.
Permission granted.
According to the Minister of Finance, and I open quotes, I encourage our citizens, especially the youth, to actively participate in this ongoing housing revolution by investing in land and home ownership. Do not shy away from taking a mortgage to build a home.
No. When it comes on to present reality in Dominica, taking a mortgage right now and not being able to, or not having the ability to pay it back is one thing. It is also when you are able, or let's for example take the nurses. I've heard that many nurses have gone to the bank and try to seek help so they can get a mortgage so they can build a house, and it seems like the banks are telling them that their salaries is too low. Now, if you're telling nurses that, be that the case, if they actually telling nurses that, this is just something I heard, but be that the case, brothers and sisters, if they're telling the nurses that the salaries are too low, they need to join it with somebody else. What about the people who are getting less money? So if you are getting less money and the bank is telling the nurses who are getting higher pay than the people who are getting less pay that they don't have enough, then getting a mortgage will only put you in problem. And I don't think that's advised, especially understanding the 2023 agenda, where you go and take a mortgage from somebody or a bank and you're not able to pay it back. And as a result of not being able to pay it back, whatever you have for collateral, whatever you have, your parents' land or whatever, if you're not able to pay back the mortgage, you lose what you build if you pay for that on mortgage, and you also lose your parents' establishment if it's your parents who co-sign for you. So going and take a mortgage and saying that individuals need to take advantage to go and take a mortgage in an economy that is not doing well is not very smart. I would not encourage that at all. I would encourage that individuals leave, make themselves, and if they want to, with the monies that they make overseas, come back to Dominica, then do so. I think that is the best way forward. You make yourself in a better economy, and if you would like, come back to Dominica and build your home. Some individuals are actually doing this. Actually, I know 2 individuals that are actually trying their best to build. 3 individuals. I don't know the other one. Personally, I actually did a reaction on the Miss Leaks reaction on that individual that didn't want to give the man his money. So that is something else. But I know 2 individuals that one already started and the other one is going to plan to build their homes in Dominica. So when they're coming back for vacation or whatever, they can just come and stay there and then go back and then rent it, Airbnb it, whatever, and then go back to a better economic country. Let me see what you guys are saying there. Dominica vibes, high efficiency, high effectiveness. This is the ideal scenario where goals are achieved with optimal use of resources. She's onto something. Yes, I agree. She's onto something when it comes down to efficiency and efficacy. No, effectiveness. True. But you must be able to weigh it. That is a problem. She's talking about efficiency and effectiveness. True. But you must be able to weigh to know if you're actually having effectiveness or efficiency. If you have a shop, it's not just saying, oh, my shop doing well, you know. You have to know, okay, the shop is making this amount of profits. How can we better this, the effectiveness of this aisle? If I change this aisle, okay, that'll provide a better efficiency for individuals to see the products or the new products and buy it. If that doesn't work, then you shift it the other way and you kind of play with things so you can know. But if you're not playing with nothing, how can you know about effectiveness and efficiency? Now? That is the best Dominica has. God have mercy. It's very true. Nurses not getting, yeah. That's something else. Nurses, you know what money people in America making as nurses? Even Dominica, most Dominicans, there's women. Most Dominicans, when they go up there, they are aiming to be nurses, you know. They aim to be nurses because there's a lot of money. One of my friends is making $54 a month, $54 an hour. 54 US an hour. Another one of mine, well, she's not Dominican. This one is from Jamaica. She's making $63 an hour in nursing. Sometimes she works 12 hours. She might work 3 times in the week and then she takes the rest off. Or if she decides she wants to work, she can just pretty much work throughout the week. $63. The other one making 54. There's another girl I know that is a Dominican who finished school like 2 or 3 years ago. She was working with some rich people. She was making like $33 an hour. And that's on the low end. That's a starter pack, $33 an hour. And working with rich people, sometimes they'll give you extra tips and this kind of things there. So I think it's very interesting when it comes down to nursing in Dominica. I heard nurses were making $1,200. I don't know if that is the case now, but from raw students, when they used to do is it residence, you know, they used to do something in the hospital and they used to work with some of the other locals there. And in talking, sometimes they were like, really? That's the amount that the Dominicans make, $1,200? So, anyways, let's continue.
Which can also offer the opportunity for a second income through rental. This approach will help create generational wealth and contribute to the growth and stability of our communities.
How is working creating generational wealth? I don't think people understand what generational wealth is, you know. Generational wealth is having the ability for you to work, yes, but then to put things in place and mechanisms in place that will generate funds that will then supply not just for you, but for your future. It has absolutely nothing to do with working. Working is the basis. It's not the continuity of the initial thing. So what she's saying there is not creating any sort of generational wealth unless she's talking about housing and passing on housing to other people. But if you cannot own the house they're giving you, how then can that pass on generational wealth? You don't even have a title for your house.
Close quote. Let
me see what you guys are saying there. How can we take, okay, Brendan is saying, hold on, let me see if I can get everybody, yeah? Yeah. Brendan is saying, how can we take a mortgage to build a home and our salaries can support it? Yeah. And it still have to save $200. You're right. How can you save $200? How can you pay a mortgage on $1,000? And that is on one of the high ends for NEP workers, you know. I've heard that some NEP workers are making $500, some making $700, and some making $1,000. So let's say all of them making $1,000 and trying to save $200 on mortgage. And what do you think mortgage is? You think mortgage is $500, man, or $600, and that is on top of your bills that you have to pay already. That is already high. So how can this be? Anyways, Rayon Austria, no worries there. Scared could do it. $1 million assets, thousands in salary. Well, I think the government is making between $80,000 to $90,000 a month, including, you know, the rental accommodations. So that's also very interesting right there. How many Dominicans are government employees? I myself not sure, huh? Rayon Austria, but she ain't really meant that. She just saying things like Dominica is a nice place. Yeah, I think one of the things that they told him, and I did a reaction on what they're doing with the Democrats Party when it comes down to Kamala being the border czar. They appointed her, Kamala, to be in charge of the border. She sucked at the border, and now because she's a running candidate for the Democratic Party, they're now saying that she was never in charge of the border. So what they're doing, they send a memo to their people to say that she was never involved and it was a Republican propaganda and all those kind of things there. So it seems like that same sentiment is happening in Dominica, where they're telling all the Paribs to make it seem as if Dominica is the best, even though objectively you're not seeing that at all. So they're saying, hey guys, everything is fine and dandy. Don't worry if you see in the country going down to hell, say it's going well. So I think that's what she's doing. Shannon Cadet, everybody, that's what they're making now. If you really, yeah. I remember back in my day when I used to, well, I never really worked Clay Harbor, but I was doing the training and I was making $1,201.50. I will never forget that. I will never forget that. At USAID, when I was working USAID as a surveyor, I was making $3,500 every 2 weeks. So, yeah, but it is what it is. Everybody, that's what they're making now. Brendan, nurses make good money in America. Yeah, oh yes. Oh yes. Some of my friends building their houses right now. Well, those in Texas, they're doing very well. There's one of the girls I know who has a PhD, and you know, I went by them for Christmas, man, and to see the kind of, I was very proud. I was very proud of her, man. She's like a little person, you know, and she just make herself, man. I don't know. I'm always happy when I see Dominicans doing well, especially those that come from Dominica. And I see they used to go away in Dominica, and today some of these guys are millionaires overseas. I mean, come on, that says a lot about Dominica. There's a guy I know who used to try to do little agriculture here and there in Dominica. He's doing that overseas now, and the boy is making a lot of money. A lot of money. You get to expand, you get to do a number of things, get into link with different people, and just making connections. And that boy. And Dominica is an agricultural nation. Let that sink in. Nurses in the United States are generally private sector. I don't know why nurses in Dominica are mostly government employees, because people cannot really pay. I think they tried to start something like that in Dominica not too long ago this year. But it doesn't seem like that business is doing well. I think who can afford it are the people who are overseas. And let's say you live in the United States or you live in England, and your parents or something, your parents or somebody are in Dominica. So I think maybe that's what they were thinking when they developed that business, so that these folks who are overseas can then send monies for these people to take care of their parents or take care of the auntie or granny or whoever it is. You know, I think, but I haven't heard anything from that business after they put out the ad, so I don't know. Rayon is saying, and the work conditions also, low salary, poor work conditions. Yeah, I've heard nurses. I remember coming down from the United States, man. As soon as I landed, they say, Mr. Leaks, we're gonna have protests tomorrow. Come through. I end up in Roseau, and these nurses were complaining about not having resources, talking about not having adequate salaries. Brothers and sisters, I kid you not when I tell you, I had a number of friends when I was going to the Dominica State College. I had a number of friends who became nurses, at least 5 of them. 5 I can think of at present. There were other people who were my classmates and things, but not really my friends, but I knew them right there. There is 0 of them remaining in Dominica. 0. None of them are in Dominica. It had one that left, and she didn't want to tell me she was leaving because I was making noisy for her about that same thing, how Dominica is going. And I say, one day you must leave. I say, you must leave. You too, you must leave. She tell me she's not going anywhere. So what she did when she left, she didn't tell me anything. I had to find out that she left. She was a Labourite. She's not a Labourite anymore. Just see that right there. Let me see. Shannon Cadet, take it by week, fortnight. It adds up to the same. Yeah, no, when I say $1,200, I'm not talking about fortnightly here. I'm talking about monthly. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
Mr. Speaker, I encourage our young people to take action. These are the things that will ensure that there'll be wealth within your own families. At the end of the day, this is yours. It's your
I just break that down there, so I not gonna say nothing on that.
own. And you should be happy to know that I worked hard to have this accomplishment. Mr. Speaker, how can a government not be serious about agriculture when it wants to invest more than $61 million in 1 year?
So I'm guessing the budget for agriculture is now $61 million. I haven't gotten the 2024-2025 budget thing yet, but when I do, I will definitely react to it. Talking about that, let me send a message to somebody.
Right? 1 year. I want to commend the Ministry of Agriculture and my colleagues there in moving along nicely with the National Youth in Agriculture program. And it will hold a Youth in Agriculture Symposium in August next month, Mr. Speaker, from the 7th to the 9th of August, right? And Mr. Speaker, this is not just a symposium. It is an OECS symposium, Dominica. First one. We are
So that means people from the Caribbean will be coming, or is it only for Dominica?
21st, Mr.
Because you mentioned OECS, a Organization of the Eastern Caribbean State. So you say it's not just, it's youth symposium, OECS. So will other people be coming to Dominica for that event, or it's just for Dominicans?
Speaker, I tell you about the passion. I'll try to stick to the script as much as possible.
Gassa, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. You're talking about the youth and the elevation of the youth, and yes, what is the government doing to elevate the youth? My goodness, the Mao people complaining to the very Pal Rep and saying, "Ilas, the youth need employment," and the Pal Rep responding saying, "I am not your God." So what you there for? Just like somebody messaged me the other day telling me, "Mr. Lixbout, what can you do in Portsmouth? Or what should you do?" As making mention of something, and the person was telling me, "What should I do?" What do you mean, what should I do? So we have Pal Reps that's supposed to be doing something and they're not doing it. I supposed to be doing the Pal Rep job and they getting paid. But it's best I get paid the Pal Rep salary and I will do it. I was hearing people saying, "Oh, you can't just leave everything for the..." If the Pal Rep not doing nothing, you then making the people who pay in the Pal Rep to do the work. The people then have to be doing the work. Make that make sense for me.
Because we need to celebrate more of our achievements, more of the best practices, and we have a lot of them.
I agree. Celebrate the achievement, but what are the achievements? You need achievements to celebrate it. What exactly are the achievements? Are you talking about the people who do well in school? Or you didn't make a mistake putting the wrong set of people? Leave that alone.
While others are busy with other things of less significance, Mr. Speaker, we are committed to ensuring that we position ourselves to be the go-to for food security.
How? How is that possible? Maybe things change now, but I remember at one point in time there was an individual who had tomatoes on his lot. He had hundreds and thousands, could be thousands of tomatoes just rotting on his field. Because the businesses that are empowered apparently are importing tomato into Dominica so they can sell it to the Dominicans. While the man growing tomato and it's rotting on the land. I mean, doesn't that say something? And I remember somebody made an important point talking about Dominica is made for the foreigners, or Dominica has become a place for foreigners to elevate and dwell on the basis of, enriching themselves. Because if you look at the foreigners who are in Dominica right now, they are the ones doing most of the jobs. They are the ones getting most of the monies, and Dominicans are getting the dregs. This is why I tell you this has to be willful.
Not just in the OECS, but further afield. And I want to again ask our young people, I always go there, because we talk about sustainability in the budget. And it is with the youth that we will see that level of sustainability being met. I
agree. It's with the youth that you will see that sustainability. But the youth want to leave. And if the youth want to leave, there will not be any sustainability. There will be a crumbling. The youth that have not left yet are the people who are either afraid or they have nowhere to go. I've met a number of youth out there talking about. There's one particular individual. I tried my best. I was kind of like one of his mentors, so to speak, and trying to help him. His mother, them. There's two of them I'm actually looking out for, and that particular one, he said he wants to stay in Dominica. And that was like about a year and a half ago. He said he wants to stay in Dominica. He wants to help build his country. He loves Dominica. Today he wants to leave. Today he wants to leave. With all the love that he has for Dominica, he wants to leave because he knows it's not going to help him. Oh, I got a super chat right there. Let me read that. DJ Hotted, where is Atu? Dominica vibes. Big up Dominica vibes for the $5 here. Appreciate that, bro. Let me go back on top. Oh, Jeanette. Okay, big up Jeanette. Jeanette, big up yourself one time, eh? Big up Jeanette one time, man. Jeanette is saying NEP, not in that Nepal. I used to work NEP and wanted a $5,000 loan. When I reach in front of the loan officer, she tell me, sorry, but NEP is not considered permanent employment. Yeah. If nurses cannot get it, NEP not going to get it at all. You can be serious, but you can be sure about that. Donald Cook is saying, young people, please learn a trade. My trade, make me a millionaire, was the number one, I'm guessing, welder for the Department of Transportation in New York, making $9,000 every 2 weeks. Yeah. And that's pretty good right there. I have friends in Texas who are welders, and they tend to go around the United States and they make a dirty piece of change as well. People, when they say talking, it's not just saying things. It's not me that is Fenella, and she does feel like saying things or saying sick. I literally know people. Some of them went to school for the very thing that this individual is talking about. He's a millionaire. And these things sometimes, when you see, people just don't know it, guys. And that is the thing that has hit me. Because when you get to travel and you meet a number of persons, man, the amount of people I met, and boy. And I seen Dominicans struggling in Dominica with the very government that they're voting for. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, he's very smart indeed. Going after the stuff that will literally make you money. That's a trade. And I agree, individuals need to learn trade. When he says I was growing up, my father made sure that we could do everything, guys. We could do everything. As little boys, we didn't want to, you always want to go and sleep or want to go and play or something like that. No. He said, come and learn that. Come and learn electricals. At least the basics. Come and learn basics in plumbing. Come and learn how to change a pipe. Come and learn how to do these things. As little boys, when certain things used to happen, we used to change these things. No supervision, nothing of that sort. Playing with live electricity. We used to know a number of things. You can't just say you go and sit down there. This is why I always advocate for individuals who have fathers in their homes. Women, sometimes you might say, I want to have my own child or whatnot because, this men not good. It's either men not good or you not good. It's one or the other. But always look out for the children. And children, it is best that they have a father figure. If you can't get the father is a worthless, get a father figure that can teach that, especially boys. Because boys are very boisterous and they want to do something. They might end up in mischief. This is why most of the people who are in prisons today come from single mother homes. Because they never grew up with people who are, or men who have some level of substance. So learning this kind of trade is important. Learning trade, so you wouldn't go and thief. You'll be able to learn to have a trade so you can go and make money yourself. Even if it's small. $100, $200 for each job. So at least you have something instead of, going out there and forming the royal donkey with yourself. DJ Hotel is saying you can hear them people lying me. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to pray for them. Dominica vibes. Growing up in Dominica in the 90s, tradesmen and farmers were frowned upon. Yeah, like it was for poor people. Guys, I never understood that. For example, the farmers, we literally had that talk on the podcast on Sunday. people were looking down, and Glenn Roy Soso was pretty much saying he blames the parents for this because they wanted the parents wanted the children to do better than them. And in wanting to do better than them, they were not looking for the children to learn farming. They wanted them to be in the office jobs. But I'm thinking to myself, how is that possible? You want them to better by making them go and work office jobs, but you built your house on that very thing. Yes, you had to get a little dirty because it's the soil, but you build your house on this and you want your children to do better, and your children just earning a flat salary. Guys, salaries is not living wages, you know that. Salaries is based off your survival. That's it. You can never become rich. You can never really truly own wealth on the salaries. Most of Dominicans are fighting to get a salary. I retired back in 2016 was I making salary, brothers and sisters. In 1 year, I clocked my entire salary in the 8 years. I should not say that. But anyways, only get the point. Yeah, let me see. DJ Hotel, Dominica Vibes ask me if it okay. That's all your personal vibe right there. So I'm guessing Dominica Vibes, you are actually in Portsmouth. I wonder if I know who that Dominica Vibes is. Does your name start with C? Dominica Vibes? Let me know that in the comment box, in the live chat. Shannon Cadet, there's nothing here for you. No, there's no elevation. Although I would say I would advise that people grow their children in Dominica. You grow your children in Dominica so they can face a little of that hard life, and that hard life will give them a level of substance. So when they go into other countries, they know how to appreciate. So I think growing children on the hard life can be better right there. Shannon Cadet is saying, but the youth self need to stop focus on FET. Yeah, well, that is what they're giving them here. Is FET and see what they like. So that's all they're giving them without no substance at all. It's just see what. Who gonna mash up later? Well, they will be the ones mashing up later. I'll continue reading this, so let's continue, guys.
Encourage our young people. Some of you, your parents would have used the land to have you where you are today. Go back to that same land instead of having it abandoned. We still have lots of space for cultivating, lots of space to set up greenhouses. Right now, the Ministry of Agriculture has so many technical experts. We have the Chinese Agricultural Mission born in 1 mile in micro.
Are you talking about 1 mile, the coffee planting? Isn't that dormant? You see, it's nice to say it. That's all. That's what I'm getting. It's just nice to say it, but in reality, it doesn't mean it's, actuality.
Constituency, come to Portsmouth. I'm always inviting people to Portsmouth for one thing or the other. We have good vibes. Come and learn something.
Where? 1 mile has been abandoned. I think there's Chinese trying to do Chinese testing and this kind of things there. I think that I remember that used to happen. Some individuals are working that area told me that's what's happening. But to learn what? You can speak Chinese.
Right? Come.
I know they had the coffee plant in 1 mile. That has been abandoned. I remember there was a whole hoopla about coffee in Dominica. Whole hoopla. Where it is now?
He likes Portsmouth. He knows why. He's a farmer, so he has to come. And I really want us to make use of that tissue culture lab in 1 mile. Right? It is another great compliment, and not just for research, Mr. Speaker, but for the creation of jobs as well, jobs for our people.
So it's been done for research. How is there a creation of jobs? Let's continue.
And that facility is more than 11 million, right, Honorable? Right, 11.4 million. And that facility, Mr. Speaker, can provide 500,000 seedlings in a year. I went there, Mr. Speaker, looked at the little space. Well, not so little, but I looked at it. That is after, in the opening phase, there were quite a few people, so you cannot really get to appreciate it. But I went back, and I'm trying to picture 500,000 plants. I saw barely food, Mr. Speaker. So stomachs will be full. And not just ours, but that of our region, our friends. And we know that our food, we have good food in Dominica.
So it can provide or produce 500,000 seedlings, and as a result, provide 500,000 plants. So why isn't it being utilized for what you just said there? Why isn't it being done yet? Is that something new? Maybe it's new. Okay, maybe it's new.
Great food in Dominica. And when I talk about that 5,000 seedlings, 500,000 seedlings, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I cannot help myself, but you know that word jobs, jobs, that is all I can think about. Jobs, jobs, jobs.
So why hasn't jobs been created? The 500,000 seedlings will create a few jobs. Why hasn't that been done yet? It's new. Maybe it's new. Maybe it's new. But I know that area has been there for a while. So okay, maybe it's new. It come in, man. I give you the benefit of the doubt. It's coming.
Jobs, jobs. So, Mr. Charles, get your field ready. Plants coming. I know we still have some plants in there. So,
but wouldn't you need markets for that? And if you don't have the markets, that means you have to find the markets. And when you find the markets, you have to deal with the competitors who are already established in that market. What gives Dominica the advantage to then fight in these markets to then create jobs, sustainable jobs? I think that's a good question to ask, no?
Look for yourself. The blue and green economy, Mr. Speaker. Ah, boy. As soon as I open the door in the morning, that is probably the first thing that I will see. The ocean. And Mr. Speaker, as wide as it is, it affords us the same amount of opportunities and possibilities. And I keep going back to imagination. We have everything, Mr. Speaker.
Why are we dealing with imagination? Shouldn't we be dealing with implementation? Why are we still imagining? The ocean was always there. We talk about the green. We spoke about it on the podcast. And you know, I think probably, hopefully the DLP people listen to the podcast as well, because there are some really great ideas. Now, my basis of doing the podcast is to promote what an individual wants to do, but also to share ideas that are apparently not being, stated. Maybe they don't have the capacity. Well, then again, it's also not just the ideas, but the implementation. You need the right set of people to implement the ideas. Because even if you tell an incompetent man how to plant a banana, he will still form the royal donkey and screw it up. He will form the absolutely royal donkey and screw it up.
To have us at number one. Everything, human resources, otherwise, natural and otherwise, we have it. And
of course we do, but it's not being utilized. That is why the potential is there, but the opportunities is not being created.
Mr. Speaker, you see that sperm whale reserve? Every time I speak to my colleague, Honorable Defo, I get excited.
You are getting excited for a lot of things, I find. You're getting emotional, you're getting excited for a lot of things, eh? It's interesting. What are you doing in Portsmouth? With all the excitement, what are you doing in Portsmouth as a PAL rep?
From time to time, I can see the whales passing from my home. And, you cannot get more excited than that. The fees we charge in, and our Honorable Defo is ready to up those fees. Mr. Speaker, I cannot even talk. I'll smile and laugh because it's good business for us, Mr. Speaker. And the opportunity to swim with our sperm whales, to interact with Dominica on that level is really special. Mr. Speaker, and while we're no strangers to the sea, there's a need for education reform in the blue and green economy. It's one that it's new for a lot of people. And so a few colleagues and I, we have met already, and we started brainstorming and, we started the engine on how we're going to have our people better equipped and able to deal with those possibilities that exist within that space.
Will you be talking to the people about these possibilities? And if so, where and when, so that the people of Portsmouth can come and listen? I think she probably listening, because she probably listening to this video, so hopefully we can get answers. This is not me trying to go after nothing. I just really want the answers. We want progress. Or you in government at present. Well, let the people know something now.
I cannot speak too much more because it's still in the planning phase. But I still want to encourage our people to do some
Okay. All right. Well, when it not in the planning phase, I hopefully we get somewhere.
research. There are a number of opportunities from the yachting and marine industry. So do some research, and of course, you can always reach out to your pal reps, and we'll be more than willing to share the information.
So you guys don't know what the opportunities are. You want individuals to do the research. If you have the ideologies and the things that can happen, wouldn't you then try to get the people involved and say, hey guys, you can do this? And then the people are like, okay, I can do that. I can do this. This makes sense. And then amongst that, you will then generate more ideas that can actually facilitate. Why you want the people to brainstorm? How are they just going to brainstorm? I say, I can come and do this. Shouldn't you be the one presenting it to the people? And then the people then will be like, okay, I can do this. I can learn this. I can go to school for that. And, you know, I think that's how it should be. Maybe it's me that just not in connection or with the understanding of what is happening around. But that's what seems to be the most ideal way of doing things. Let me read some of your comments, guys. Jerry Nelson say, good night, I'm late for class. Well, at least you get an education on both sides. Hey. Dominica Vibes DJ Audit is supposed to be one of the biggest DJs in Portsmouth. Well, big up to DJ Hothead. Mr. Lakes, not okay. All right. I thought you were. Okay, cool. Mr. Lakes, you know me very well, and I know your entire family, but you won't be able to guess my identity. Well, you have IP. I can always go and look your IP. But anyway, let me leave that alone. I'm not a hacker. Anyway, Shannon Cadet, yet still no employment. Yeah, she making all these claims, and yet still there's no employment. People are still crying about employment. They're trying to stunt with this school in Portsmouth, but they're not really hiring people. You know, much people was hired as a result of Ross, and the very government caused Ross to go. I mean, hello. Shannon Cadet again, and why isn't it put to use? Yeah, she's talking about the possibilities it has, like as if the possibilities were not there yet, but it most likely was there already. And you know, why isn't it being put to use? Jerry Nelson, I'm not gonna read that, but I think everybody has their uses, man. Everybody has their uses. It's just that sometimes, you know, people just fanfaring, because that's the team that are paying them. They would not normally make that kind of salary that they are making now. So their duty is for them. Remember, the government also increased their salaries. So the pirates out there will just say whatever, not necessarily connecting to reality or objective reality. They will say whatever, because the salaries that they are getting now, they will not ever get these kind of salaries normally. So that says that they will do and pretty much say anything right there. Trying to say Boo Boo the Clown. Jeanette 1994. You see how she talking there, saying a lot of nothing but always saying something. Yeah, I've noticed this as well. This is how she was as a teacher. Terrible literature teacher. That's very sad indeed. Because she's saying a lot of things, guys, without actually saying anything. What have you guys learned from what she was saying? Anything or any sort, just anything at all? Because I'm not getting it.
Information and to provide some assistance for you. Some areas of specialization, for example, Mr. Speaker, yacht plumbing. We do plumbing in the house, but yacht plumbing is very different. We also have yacht carpentry. That's very different too. So these are just some to name a few. And we also, for example,
I missed that.
Speaker, yacht
I missed
some
that,
assistance
guys.
for you. Some areas of specialization, for example, Mr. Speaker, yacht plumbing. We do plumbing in the house, but yacht plumbing is very different. We also have yacht carpentry. That's very different too. So these are just some to name a few. And
yeah, of course they are different. Plumbing.
While I'm on the topic of,
Oh my God.
while I'm on that topic, Mr. Speaker, I also wanted to highlight that Portsmouth benefited from the 3.2 million that was spent in training our boat builders. So just to have that on record. And Mr.
I cannot say if that is true or not, but hey, if they benefited and people building more boats, then great.
Speaker, like as if that is not enough.
Yeah, that's not enough. Building boats is not enough. Having a complex or a market to then utilize these boats would be beneficial. We've also heard that fishermen are having a problem, especially, well, this is an example that we heard in Layu. Fishermen are hoping for them not to catch too much fish, because if they catch too much fish, what's going to happen? This fish is going to spoil because not enough people are buying the fish. So they are hoping that they do not catch enough fish. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that man going out there and hoping that they do not catch too much fish? Back in the day, you'd hope that you catch as much fish as you can as possible. But people complaining about catching too much fish, and then when they come to sell it, how much people that can buy, not everybody can buy. Sometimes they have to bring down their prices so that people can afford the thing. But we have boat building 3.2 million. Okay. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with that, you know. It's just that I want to see the effectiveness and efficiency of that $3.2 million. Wrong or right? Am I wrong or am I right, guys? Let me know.
Mr. Speaker, the Caprice Marina is on course. No, Mr. Speaker, believe it or not, I wanted to work with.
The airport was on course too, you know. Roseau, what do you call that? Roseau Enhancement Project has been on course since 2014. So saying it is on course doesn't mean it's going to happen or it's going to be implemented anytime soon. Furthermore, I've been hearing that it's the intercontinental people that are going to be handling that. So if it's on course, it's because of them, not because of the government of Dominica or the Portsmouth Parliamentary Representative.
You know, you see the size of these documents and bigger. I wanted to work with my pictures, right, for proof, for evidence. But probably next time, Mr. Speaker, when I come, we'll be at a different phase.
At least we better than, well, I do see it, no? I was going to say at least we have the designs. But to me, we don't have the designs for the airport. So I was going to say at least we have the designs for the marina, but I cannot say that because I see a blank sheet.
Evidence, but probably next time, Mr. Speaker, when I come, we'll be at a different phase. So for those who do not believe, because we have a lot of.
So what phase are you right now? Are you in the designing phase? Has work been begun? Or what exactly has been done?
Oh, doubting Thomases. I don't understand why.
Not doubting Thomas. You cannot be doubting what you cannot see. If I do see it, it do happening. I do doubting until I see something happen. I say, that not going to. I doubt that going to complete. Then I can see that. But if I not see nothing happening, and people, especially when there's a track record of individuals saying a number of things are going to happen, and it just doesn't happen. For example, the Prime Minister stated that they're going to be finding markets for agriculture. Where has that happened? So to doubt, not necessarily doubt, but to believe, well, I guess the belief is doubting anyways. Whether you believe or you don't believe, no, not to believe is doubting. So I guess you technically right on that.
And for those who still doubting, Mr. Speaker, I just want to invite them. Take a drive, whether it is up or down, depending on your direction.
Where we going? Where we going?
And come and see for yourself what is going on there. You're just passing there too, so you can check out our marina space.
I passed there. They had the bike shoe there. We don't see nothing happening. Maybe it's on the part that behind the bush that we didn't see, but we didn't see nothing there. I mean, you can pass on the road and you can literally see all the way to the sea, and we don't see nothing there. But maybe it just start. Maybe it start yesterday or today. So she's saying that. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, story time.
Okay.
If we have 15 at shops as part of the Caribbean Marina. And I know you have a background in business, so you might be able to calculate even faster than me. Mr. Speaker, if each of the shops can draw at least $500 a day, EC, US, we're taking Euro, no problem. What would that mean for the Portsmouth economy, for the Northern economy, for our families, investment in small business, the hucksters, purchases for the other adjoining communities, investment in the same works of art, packaging and more?
So if you have 15 per day, if you have 15 shops, and these 15 shops are making $500, 15 shops, $500, wouldn't that be 60, 75, 7,500? Maybe me have it out. $7,500, 15 shops. Because if you have 10, that'll be 5,000.
Just think about that for a little bit.
Let's go back and get the math.
No problem. What would that mean?
Let's see what
I know you have a background in business, part of the Caribbean Marina.
Yes, talk to us.
And I know you have a background in business, so you might be able to calculate even faster than me. Mr. Speaker, if each of the shops can draw at least $500 a day.
A day. A day.
US, we're taking Euro, no problem. What would that mean for the Portsmouth economy, for the Northern economy, for our families, investment in small business, the hucksters, purchases for the other adjoining communities, investment in the same works of art, packaging and more? Just think about that for a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice. No problem. I mean, that would generate like $7,500 a day, you see, a day. I thought it was a month you was talking about, but you said a day. So it's a good thing I went back. But that means the shop have to generate $500 every day. Now, for it to generate $500 every day, you need people to come in. And to generate that, you need people to be spending. The closest thing I can reference is the Roseau Bayfront vendors. Now, you have cruise boats coming in. When these cruise boats coming in, if all these people that tend to come through, these people don't really buy much. Because from my understanding, they want them to pay $400. I guess maybe collectively $400 every month. And they have to then pay another $400 to the security guard that is there, from my understanding. That is $800 a month. But they're not generating any money of that revenue. So if you're talking about $500 a day, when this has never happened anywhere in Dominica, so you're just magically thinking of a figure that is not applicable to Dominica. Don't get me wrong, something can happen. You never know. Maybe the marina might be a magical place, where money is being made, and this money is flowing from back straight to the people them, maybe. But I'm saying, if you have to weigh on the evidence of what has happened before, we cannot say that is the case. Because the closest thing I'm thinking of is the tourism boats. And the tourism boats bring a lot of people. And a lot of people would spend money, but apparently these vendors don't get much money. So to say you're going to be making $7,500 from 15 stores is kind of, a little far-fetched. But the marina is not even built yet. So wishful thinking is nice, but when we look at Portsmouth, what exactly is generating that kind of money at present? What, under your tutelage, under your leadership, what exactly in Portsmouth is generating that kind of funds? Let me see what you guys have to say right there. Nothing she said don't make no sense to me. Need to consider that. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, Jerry Nelson saying boring, lazy labor, catwa vine. Well, they say they catwa vine, but they don't really catwa vine. Scared start say that they working. What is it? What is this song he make now? Labor is working. What is this song now? Working night and days. I don't even know this song, but it's something about working, and he know they're not working. Dominica vibes. Okay, let's move on from there. Nikron, nothing she said though makes no sense to me. Dominica vibes, like people don't like fish or what? No, it's not that they don't like fish. No, the affordability factor of the fish. And not everybody can afford the fish, so the fishermen check in. They don't want to get too much fish, and next thing the fish gets to spoil. I mean, it's one thing when you get fish and then you sell and then you take the remainder for your family. But when you have too much, I mean, people eventually get fed up of fish, you know? So they're hoping that they do not get too much fish. Brendan Lamoff, the Marina is private range development. That's building the Marina. That's not for Portsmouth people. Yeah. Either way, I was trying to figure, okay, the Marina, yes, you get to put boats and all those kind of things there in there, but it's not a benefit to the people. It's the same thing where people are going to be earning salaries if these places are actually, you know, generating funds. They're just going to generate salaries, and the salaries is for survival. It's not about living wages at all, where you can upskill yourself. It looks like the people with all the ideas are on the next side. Yep. Because you guys saw the podcast that I did, and I was talking to Soso here, and Soso had some brilliant stuff, man. Talk about putting solar energy on top of the roofs in Roseau, helping the very people, and also sending back to the grid. That can also produce and lessen the cost on people's lives. For electricity, that's definitely helping the people. But I'm like, why would the government, you know, do that when they have bought Domlec? They want Domlec to make money. This is why they're increasing the cost of electricity on people. So they will not do that, which means that they do not look for the best interest of the people. Jerry Nelson, Mr. Leaks, you must go up for Posse. People always tell me I must go for Posse. I understand. I wouldn't mind going up, you know. But the thing is, when you're dealing with Posse, it's not just saying, you know, going up. Because I've seen a number of persons who are gone up for Portsmouth, and when they come called to do things, the people not there. People not there. It's just... And they hope the people that would show up would most likely be, hey, what can I get from the government? If I have to do things like that, it's about progress we want. It's not about, oh, let's come and clean up the river and this thing. No, it's yes, we clean the river, but what can we do to enhance the profitability factor of the river? That is how I look at things, because I want when we go to clean up the river, there must be some outcome. You want an input, you want an outcome. You check me. It's not just saying, oh, let's go clean up river. Okay, and they dirty the river, let's clean it up again. All right. What can we do? What can we do to sustain? Maybe we can make a dam or something to put by the river to you know, make some electricity. That is how I operate. Everything I do, brothers and sisters, everything must provide outcome, you know, output. Anyways, Superstar, Michael, go back Lions Club and paint barrels. Guys, keep in mind, sometimes these people are tired. This is why I'm not putting too much pressure on her, you know, guys, because sometimes they are tied with the things that they are doing. Like I indicated before, they raise their salaries, so most likely these are some of the highest paying jobs that they will ever get in Dominica. So when they tell them, okay, you know, you cannot do much, you have to stay there, that's it. That's where you stay. And then she have to come and make it seem, and not just her, maybe the others have to come and make it seem, you know, everything is fine and dandy. And I don't think that is good at all. Mariners are generally private. I would be happy if it's actually range that own it and not the government. Well, if range that own it, that means range that are going to be getting most of the monies. So there's literally no upscale. It's just like the people just going to be working for them. I think we need to look at things that the people can actually own. You know, like having the factories and stuff out there. How Dominica have so much water, and you tell me we have more water from overseas than water in Dominica? Make that make sense. We have Antigua water here. We have that sunny. We have the sunny here, we guys. The sunny. Shannon, she worse than Dennis. Well, Dennis self is a Ted Calbas. We know Dennis is a full Ted Calbas, you know. From AM to PM we're working. Yes, Brandon, thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know. Right there. Lee Benjamin says, I am late. Good evening to all. Bless up. Ila Sport Posse Pal Rep is amicable. Okay. But she should not put herself in that circle there. That circle stifles creativity. Yeah. And I was surprised to the point what she's saying there, because from my understanding, I think she's a creative person. She's probably somebody I would expect to generate ideas, but I think they are stifling her. This is why I'm not really putting much pressure, you know, to say on her. And besides, it's not about pressure, it's about what she's saying. So I'm not looking at the person, because you notice some people say a number of things inside there. I'm not looking at the person, I'm looking at what she's saying. So let's continue.
Mr. Speaker, all of Dominica can come to Portsmouth. For the Caribbean Marina, no problem. And I'm sure Honorable Roy is going to say the same thing.
For them to see a Portsmouth, or are they going to get ride on boats? Why should the whole of Dominica come to Portsmouth for the marina? Why?
Vinny, come. And we have enough space. And Mr. Speaker, just in case, some might still say, because they like to doubt. You say it doesn't have enough space. Remember, we built
You say it have enough space, and you say just in case it don't have enough space.
hospital in less than no time at the peak of COVID. So come people, come to Portsmouth, come and see what's going on, come and find out about.
How you build a hospital? Our simulation lab all used, it was already a hospital. Our simulation lab that is supposed to simulate a hospital is what you guys use to build a hospital. So it was already a hospital. Only just put partitions and this kind of things there inside there, and it was already a hospital.
Your jobs and so on. Mr. Speaker, we're inviting all of them to come. And this ties in with our improvements for tourism, site enhancement. We bind into the whole community tourism aspect of things.
So you say site enhancement, okay. I guess that's a point. But then you just lost it after that. You want to improve, maybe come on Coconut Beach and watch the sites, so or go by the Indian River. So sites enhancement would make sense, yes. You don't say how it's going to be, but that makes the level of sense. You want to enhance the sites in Portsmouth. And then you just went, that's all? Let me go back, if you guys think it's joke I'm making.
And we bind into the whole community tourism aspect of things.
That's it, we? Site enhancement, and we bind into the whole community tourism aspect of things. That is not saying anything.
And of course, Portsmouth is no stranger to that kind of tourism, and no stranger to yachts and boast of years of experience in the marine sector. So that in itself,
but isn't that boosting up the sites?
Because of experience, Caribbean Marina is in a good place.
You keep talking about Caribbean Marina. Okay, we get Caribbean Marina is coming. We do not know how effective it's going to be. Just like Kempinski coming, and Kempinski had to leave because the capacity was not very high. And we talk about a place that is known across the world, a business that is known across the world, had to leave Dominica shores because the capacity for which it had to be sustained was not being met. The capacity intercontinental, how much people you think is down there, guys? How much people you think down there? I personally want that place to do well because Ross left. I say at least, okay, maybe the people coming in, they come out and probably, you know, mingle in the community, come and buy food here and there. They want the local food and what have you, you know? But that has not happened. In fact, we hear that a certain minister is providing or used to provide for Kempinski, and then the local farmers were trying to figure out how come that minister is getting there on top of his government salary, and then they're not getting to supply to Kempinski. So it's like that person trying to have all for themselves and leaving the rest of the people out. I was on top of a mountain, you know, talking to one of these people. I was on top of a mountain after bushfire hit. Top mountain talking to people. The man was doing some mulching for him to fertilize, to get fertilizer for him to fertilize his thing, his
Means that it will finish even faster. Mr. Speaker, let's take a quick voyage to Paris. We're going to Paris.
All right.
Dominica can say that it is again part of the most eventful, the most spectacular events in sports, the Olympic Games. And
which person from Portsmouth went to the Olympic Games? Like I indicated before, and I said that on the podcast, brothers and sisters, it seems like Dominicans are very happy that we are representatives. Yes, but these representatives did not get the training in Dominica. We had the rugby partner that, but I never know if Mr. Only way I know he was Dominican is because his name sung like Jeff Joe. Only to find out that he was related to Jeff Joe's son. Rugby for France. As if he ever come Dominica. As if he ever claimed Dominica. You know, you probably say, well, that's where his father is from, and probably never even came to Dominica. I don't know. We have Fenella Ford, who is from Dominica, but she gets a training overseas. We have this Schofield girl we have the Warren guy who's from overseas as well. The only one I think that is from Dominica is Derek. I don't even think Derek gets his training in Dominica. I could be wrong. But most of the athletes get their training from overseas, yet still we claim them because they have some Dominican bloodline and they represent Dominica. What if the places that they get training from realize, hey, these people are very good. Maybe we should get them to come on our team. Then who's going to represent Dominica? If they decide they're going to pay these guys $2-3 million for them to join on their team, Dominica can't do that. So if that is the case, then who's going to represent Dominica? Because remember, guys, just like America, when America was playing World Cup cricket, it had a man from Jamaica that was playing against West Indies, you know. It had people from other places that were playing against their homeland. So it's possible.
Mr. Speaker, we're not just going. We are going in our star girl, triple jumper Taylor Ferguson. We're going with 2 swimmers who are bringing in a legacy to the games. So Dominica is already, you know, in the spotlight. Minister of Tourism, you'll be happy. Marketing there for us. And our swimmers are, of course, Warren Lawrence and Jasmine Schofield. And, you know, Portsmouth have to be in things.
So you do bring in Derek? Derek not there?
So, Mr. Speaker, we have our bronze medalist in the NACAC Championships and our national record holder in the 800-meter men's segment, Denick Luke, representing our...
Denick from Portsmouth?
Nature Island. In the 800-meter medalist and NACAC Portsmouth have to be in there. Warren Lawrence and Jasmine Schofield. And, you know, Portsmouth have to be in things. So, Mr. Speaker, we have our bronze medalist in the NACAC Championships and our national record holder in the 800-meter men's segment, Denick Luke, representing our Nature Island. The government, Mr. Speaker,
that's Denick from Portsmouth. Let's see what you guys are seeing there. Long story short, Scary don't want to release Dominica vibes. Scary doesn't want to release the money to do stuff in Portsmouth. Even a blind man can see, yeah, Portsmouth has been neglected. It's very clear now. We claim about some marina coming as if that is grand. It's nice, don't get me wrong, but how is that benefiting the people or the elevation of the people? Even if the marina were to come and it's $500 every day in the 15 cubicles, is a salary Dominicans going to get? There's no elevation for them. There's no growth for them. Dominica Vibes again is saying Roseau should be the capital. Roseau shouldn't be the capital. Well, they move Roseau to capital to Roseau. So Shannon and the hospital sucks more than before. Yeah, people used to do operation in the Portsmouth hospital back in the day. Children used they used to give birth to children in Portsmouth hospital. I remember as a little boy. Thank God for good memory, you know. Thank God for good memory. They used to do that. A little boy, I tell you, I remember those things, and I still visualize in the amount of people. I can see them in my eyes. I can see their faces. I have photographic memory, brothers and sisters, so I can see their faces and all this kind of things there. The clothes that they were wearing, the white gowns and this kind of things there. See that person with that brown shoes. Just looking at the hospital, man. People sit down, that lady. Oh my goodness. No, we have a smart hospital in Portsmouth. They don't call it smart because you can do better things, for the betterment of the people when it comes down to healthcare. They call it smart because they can walk in and there's motion sensor lights. There's motion sensor lights. The AC probably can tweak according to the conditions. So they call it a smart hospital. You think people are good at you think people are good at Brenda Lam, welcome to Dominica Tan. Yeah. DJ Hothead. When Ross go Portsmouth fall big time. Yeah, boy. The whole of Dominica fall. 40%, 30 to 40% GDP. You know that left Dominica when Ross left. Brenda Lamoff, all they had to do was to develop Purple Turtle. Yeah. I remember back in the day, guys, we had boat sports, water sports. People from Guadeloupe and Martinique come to Dominica. Water sports, boat race, jet ski race. And imagine, those people, they used to ride back to Guadeloupe and Martinique, Well, I know they used to ride back to Guadeloupe. I don't know if they ride back to Martinique. But the people on jet skis that came to do these sports, they drove all the way, they rode all the way. They ski all the way to Dominica on jet skis. And when they done, they went back on jet skis to Guadeloupe. That happened once. I will never forget that. Posse was vibrant. I remember the feeling that was associated. Seeing all those people come down to Portsmouth to have fun, to boat race, to do all sorts of things. I remember that time in Portsmouth, man. This has not happened in a while. We're talking about Marina. The activities that were there. People Title could be a vibrant place. I went to Dominica Republic on the beach. Then people have some nice settings, some umbrellas and things they set up. And people just come and chill and they have the nice band and music playing. And all those kind of things. They set up people along the line. Brothers and sisters, if you find one umbrella in Dominica, you good with? Not one umbrella. On the Purple Turtle. So people can come and relax, chill. Have a drink, meet people. Anyways, let me continue. Oh, I missed one. Lee. Oh, Brenda, don't finish your comment. Now, let me see. And put the marina there, but no, they want to have the marina private. Well, they probably cannot afford it, so they have to put it there. And then hire Dominicans. Lee Benjamin. But what is she saying now? That's the culture now in Parliament. The spoken language, body language. I guess she does, freeing up herself, man. I don't really bother about her movements and this kind of things. Yeah, I'm listening to what she's saying. Dominica vibes. Nurse Ato that okay.
Fostering and preparing our athletes for better results.
With
Rest
what?
on fostering and preparing our athletes for better results.
Dominica didn't prepare. Maybe they prepared Denick. But the others that went up is not Dominica that prepared them now.
We have worked on the
at least we have representatives, all right.
tennis courts and the netball courts at over 300,000. That is near completion, and the designs for the indoor facility, Mr. Speaker, they're well on their way to being finalized.
Dominica would have an indoor gymnasium long time ago. But instead, the government uprooted it and they built the stadium that they have today. So would I have like 6-7 sports playing at one time? But no, they uprooted it because it was the United Workers' Party that started it. And they built this stadium that we have now that is mainly used for music.
The team, I know, is already mobilized. As I saw the equipment myself, we have the lighting of the geese park in Glanville, that is the potato garden of labor. We have the poles there, they're on site, Mr. Speaker, and I know that very soon they will be mounted, and also through collaborative efforts.
You know, a problem with the Labour Party, it seems like a number of persons are talking. Based on what she's saying there, it doesn't seem like anything has been implemented. Nothing has been implemented. What I would like when they come in is that, you know, okay, they say things are going to be happening, but then we want to see the actual thing. So when they come in parliament, they can say, okay, this has been done. We put up lightings here. We cut the grass in the park, you know, something of that sort, you know. But I don't really see that.
Because our budget speaks to partnering, right? Partnering to build. We have collaborations, and we will soon see some work at the Benjamin Park for mini athletic facilities in throw circle, as well as a run-up for both long and triple jumps, Mr. Speaker. So we continue to work in the best interest of sports.
Well, that's nice.
Mentioning the work of the Dominica Olympic Committee and its staff, ably led by Mr. Billy Doctor, and with no uncertain terms, we are grateful to the Prime Minister and to the Ministry of Sport. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate the Glanville Football Club. They've been doing well. They're my homegrown club. And also to the number of people who come out to support the athletes in various ventures. We have Mr. Kimani Thomas, who's working in the grassroots program to get our goalkeepers up to par. A young man, Mr. Speaker. So
what have they done for the goalkeepers, the footballers in Dominica? I remember at one point in time they called me to start filming the footballers doing little drills here and there, and then at least setting up profiles. At least they would have some profiles that they can give the people overseas. Has this been something that has been done? So at least they can go overseas, get the training, because apparently Dominica doesn't have the training or the necessary resources that are needed. Even though FIFA gave $20 million US dollars for Dominica to use, I don't know where it go. They say some people buy vehicles with it. I don't know about that, but brothers and sisters, that's what they say. But what exactly are they doing for the footballers? Are they preparing the footballers to go overseas? Is something of that sort happening? I remember Mr. Washwe Douglas was one of the individuals who was looking for people and talented skill sets so that people can go overseas and better themselves and train, because Dominica doesn't have it. I would understand if Dominica has it, but since Dominica doesn't have it, what are they doing to help the people leave Dominica so they can get better training to even represent like the present Olympians from Dominica are doing?
Where talks of our men being pushed aside, that doesn't happen in the Portsmouth constituency. We also want to thank Mr.
So that doesn't happen to men in the Portsmouth society. You know much young men who ended up in prison from some, let me leave that alone.
The Nabi Wallis for revamping and relaunching the Aspirers Athletics Club. Mr. Speaker, this is a project that a lot of people speak about and want to see, I too want to see, is the day when we have the administrative building. That building will not only serve Portsmouth, Mr. Speaker, but the North. And
she mentioned Nabi Wallis. I heard a story. Let me leave that there.
What it will do is that it leads to savings for a number of our people in the northern area. And it also provides that ease of access. You're in a town, it feels more
6 more
townly.
minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just about 5 minutes.
They tell you 6 minutes. Why are you telling me it's about 5 minutes?
Speaker, I move that the honourable member for the Portsmouth constituency be given an additional 5 minutes.
It has been moved and seconded.
Speaker, I move.
Just about 5 minutes.
Speaker, I move that the honourable member for the Portsmouth constituency be given an additional 5 minutes.
It has been moved and seconded that the Honorable Wenham Shepherd be given an additional 5 minutes.
So an additional 5 minutes. Or maybe they ask her how much time she needs. But he says 6 more minutes. Gasa, let me leave that.
In favor? Those against? Honorable, you are given an additional 5 minutes.
So wait, you don't even wait a while. You see those for it in favor, those against, you don't even wait for people to say, listen.
Those in favor? Those against? Honorable, you are given an additional 5
So you don't even wait for people to say.
5 minutes. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I don't understand what's going on here.
And so, Mr. Speaker, I was saying that this building, it helps to, you know, as I said, just a few days ago, we featured as being among the most beautiful from the Caribbean country, actually.
Cities,
And
you
this
forget cities. And the reason why they say is because you cannot find it. It's not really known.
will help in
I
the
read the article, you know.
aesthetics of the town as we look towards further development for our space and for our people. And I'm just asking the constituents to just be patient and trust the leadership. The Labour Party government is very strategic in what it does, very, very strategic, and that applies to how it leads the country and how it puts its projects. So
But nothing is happening in Dominica. The economy is doing far worse than it was ever doing before. 20 years ago, the Dominica was doing better. 10 years ago, Dominica was doing better. Today, Dominica is on life support. Right now, they're trying to fight to bring back visa-free access after they have been warned constantly not to use not to use United Kingdom as a selling point. They ignored it. And you're talking about the government is very strategic. Guatemala have one of the highest crime rates. Didn't even want Dominica. boy, eh.
I'm just asking the people to be patient, Mr. Speaker.
Boy.
And Mr. Speaker, in almost every forum where I speak on small business, you'll hear me saying that the small businesses are the heartbeat of Portsmouth. And I can say that it is the heartbeat of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we take our small businesses very seriously up north, and so much so that I was more or less forced to open the small business desk that is still functioning after a year, Mr. Speaker. We still have a number of hits, a number of young people are coming to us, and some, beyond youth, but we facilitate. We also accommodate, Mr. Speaker, we accommodate everybody. We have people coming from other constituencies to access the assistance that we provide, and we do that free of charge, Mr. Speaker, because we know the...
What do you mean you're doing free of charge? You're going to charge people for them to do what?
Importance of yet another successful small business in Dominica. So we want to continue that, and Mr. Speaker, I hope that even more will come from this initiative. And again, I continue to ask our people to be cooperative and to use their imagination. Mr. Speaker, some time ago I heard you mentioning some ideas for small business, and I hope that we can probably replicate something like that with a more, for a larger audience where they can hear those things. Perfect for small business, Mr. Speaker.
You need the economy for small business. You need spending power for small business. Talking about small business doesn't mean, things will just magically happen and small businesses will just be successful and grow. They will upscale to big businesses. No. That's not how it works. You need a striving economy for small business to operate, especially if you're looking at multiple small businesses. Any business person knows this. Any business person who or studied business knows this. Dominica is not conducive for small business. For a few, maybe, but not conducive for small business.
Just last week, too, again, serious business. Mr. Speaker, over $9,000 was handed to 77 small businesses. And they come from various, to 77 small businesses. $1,000 was handed to 77 small businesses. And they come from various sectors. Mr. Speaker, that is not little money or games, Mr. Speaker. Some people have the business of the state. Some people have the business of the state like it's a joke. That is not a joke, Mr. Speaker. You hear the kind of money that a government puts into its people, into its human resource, into ensuring that we have things running well in a country. Those things.
Just because the government put money into small business, according to what you're saying right there, doesn't mean it's going to be successful. You need spending power. You need the economy. You need resources in that regard to help small businesses. Established businesses are struggling. To create new businesses with these struggling businesses is going to create more competition for them, especially if you're pretty much doing the same thing that other businesses are doing. I was going to mention something, but I'll leave that alone.
It's not a joke, Mr. Speaker. Over $9,000. I'm repeating that to you. 900, sorry. 938,000. That is not a joke.
938,000.
Right? Over $9,000. I'm repeating that to you. 900, sorry. It's not joke, Mr. Speaker. Over $9,000. I'm repeating that to you. 900, sorry.
So over $900 per business was because she just said sorry.
Joke, Mr. Speaker. Over $9,000. I'm repeating that to you. 900, sorry. 938,000. That is not a joke. Right?
938,000. Probably she mean $938 per business.
And that ties in nicely to, Mr. Speaker, with the digital economy. I do know that we looking to upgrade our small businesses, let them get in up to the time. So we look for upgrades in the accounting software. I don't know all of the fancy names, but I know QuickBooks for sure will be one of those that you can use. Doing digital marketing for your business. We're also looking at inventory management and networking. When you're online, that world is, everything is closer to you, Mr. Speaker. So these are the things that we hope our small businesses will.
When you're online, everything is not closer to you. It's at your fingertip, yes, but not closer to you. It's just like marketing. You then have to bring the audience to your business. It's not everything closer to you. It's accessible if people are able to find, for example, these videos. If people are able to find the videos among the billions of videos that are out there, it's possible, but it's not easily accessible.
Will tap into and make them more productive. As I wrap up, Mr. Speaker, I would like to mention, I'm going to take my time to say this one even if I have about 5 minutes. I would like to mention that the American Canadian School of Medicine is going to have its 3rd, Mr. Speaker, white coat ceremony. 3rd.
Don't they do white coat ceremony at the end of every semester or the beginning of every semester when new people come in? And then you have to keep in mind that the amount of people that are failing the test. So you can have the white coat ceremony and people do pass the test. They're not going to make it, They're not going to make it.
I wish to welcome all of our new students, and I want to reaffirm my commitment to the school and to tell them that we're going to grow from strength to strength.
It would be nice if Ross was still here and the government did not push out Ross. That would have been nice, I think that would have been much nicer. That we didn't throw away the 40% GDP that Dominica had.
Speaker, more story. The student population is growing.
How much is it? Tell us how much is it?
That is for certain. We started, if you all remember, about 8 or 9 students. And while the student population is growing, Mr. Speaker.
So you don't want to say how much that remain? You're not saying how much people that drop out because they fail the exams and stuff. You're not saying none of that stuff, okay?
We have a number of hits,
She's not going to say how much, guys, so just don't worry about that. She's not going to say how much.
People. Once we're able to convert these prospects, Mr. Speaker, more jobs, plenty more jobs. Mr. Speaker, based on my research, and I like to be on the ground, I like to be in everything in my constituency. Mr. Speaker, supermarkets are expanding, fact. Apartments.
Which supermarket that expanding in Portsmouth? Guys, which supermarket that is expanding? She didn't say where the supermarket is expanding. She just says supermarkets are expanding. Could be where in Portsmouth supermarkets expanding. I think all these supermarkets in Portsmouth right now, and I know none of them expanding. So which supermarket is she talking about? Supermarket in Roseau, maybe Roseau. I don't know which supermarket in Roseau expanding, but maybe Roseau.
Are filling up, Mr. Speaker. Facts.
What?
Apartments are filling up, Mr. Speaker. Facts.
Yeah, it's filling up with people who live in their mother house to go and see if they can stay somewhere. It's not filling up with students. It's not filling up with students. People live in their mother house, finally going out, say, okay, I get a little job that making $1,000. Apartment rent is $600. I want to try and see if I can make a little something for myself. But people, let me advise all you something now. If you're making $1,000, stay at your mother home, okay? Stay at your mother home so you can, the $600 or $700 you'll be using to pay rent, you can save it instead. At the end of the year, you'll have a few $1,000s in your hands. So stay by your parents at least for 2-3 years if it's $1,000 a month you're making. Okay? If your parents say, okay, pay the internet or something, pay the internet, my goodness. You know? Do a little contribution here and there, brothers and sisters, if you're staying at your parents' home. But you get into save these $600 you'll be giving somebody else for rent, you'll be able to use that. So I'd advise that. Okay, guys, let's continue.
And Mr. Speaker, businesses are staying open later. Fact. Mr. Speaker, listen to me.
Businesses are staying open later because most likely they are not getting the kind of monies that they would get if they were in a striving economy. For example, if you have a surplus of $100 and you say, not surplus, you have a quota of $100 that you want to raise for the day, right? During the day, you say, okay, you will go from 8 to 4. You do raise that money because you need $100 for you to have your living expenses met. So you are there for the whole day, 8 to 4. You only make $30, $40. You know, not every day is the best day. So you say, okay, you want to stay a little longer. You stay a little longer because the economy is not conducive. There's no spending power there. That's why shops are staying open longer. It's not like they're making a set of money and say, boy, I don't like my family members. Let me stay inside this place. And no, that's not happening. So you saying that business staying opening for longer is not a good thing. In this day and age, people trying to open their business less. In the striving economies, you look at the Netherlands, you look at a number of places out there, they're trying to stay less in their business places so they can have more time for themselves. And they can have more time for their family. They can go out and these kind of things there. But if you're not making the money, if you're not making $100, my goodness, you might have to stay from 8 to 8 or 8 to 10 to see if you can make a $50, even though it's $100 that is your quota for the day. So I don't understand how she making it seem as if that is a good thing. Let me see what you guys are saying there. Jerry Nelson, all they do is put it on the site to see they working. Yeah, there's not really much that happens from that. Jerry Nelson, best Mr. go back in his bakery. This Mr. Speaker of the House. Yeah, well, he could eat it. Brendan Lamar, strategic for their pockets. Yeah, seems so. They want you to work, put the monies in your pocket so they know you have a business, and then at the end of the year, they will tax your business. And then you have to audit your business and say, hey, I don't make no money. Anyways. House cottage. Okay, let me see. Dominica Vibe say he heard 938,000 over 77 is what I understood. Okay, so I guess they put 937,000 businesses. No, 900. They give 938,000 to 77 businesses. If that is the case, so that means each business get about $13,000. Yeah. All right then.
This one. Mr. Speaker, even the ice cream shop opens for longer hours and business bright and creamy.
The ice cream shop opens for longer hours for the same reason why other businesses in Dominica would open for longer hours, to at least try to meet quotas. If you open your business for the whole day and you don't get sale, it'll be wiser if you stay open for longer. Maybe somebody might show up. But at the end of the day, you still ended up using more electricity just for people to come and buy. So things are working against you if nobody come and buy ice cream.
And Mr. Speaker, that is what we want.
That is definitely not what we want. We want businesses to be making money so they can close down early enough so that other businesses can open up, and then people will be able to spend more time with their families. I think that would be the ideal thing for entrepreneurship.
That is what we want. And that, Mr. Speaker, is the work of the Labour-led government.
Yeah, you're right. It's screwing up people's lives. And people are constantly saddened by this. They are not happy because they don't get to free up themselves. They always have to try to constantly be making money for them to survive. When people are trying their best to survive, that is not what you consider a good thing. People trying their best to survive because they are reliant on other people coming to buy stuff in their shop. If people do not have the monies to buy, what do you expect to happen? Businesses will shut down.
To register that, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, after saying all that, I don't know whether, it is too early to measure or to quantify the impact of the new school on the Portsmouth social environment, but Mr. Speaker, the signs are encouraging. Very encouraging.
So you don't know how to quantify it, but the signs are encouraging.
Mr. Speaker, Secret Bay, the globally recognized CBI project, recently opened Boaden. And Boaden is food, art, and beverage. It's a restaurant. And it is 2 levels. It features contemporary and Latin American art. There is a gourmet restaurant, full service bar. We have a microbrewery. And we have conference space. We have a mini theater. Mr. Speaker, you can come down and you can sip on some kombucha and just enjoy nature. And of course,
you need money to do these things, my lady. Most people don't have the kind of monies for them to do these things, so they have to constantly be in their businesses to see if they can earn a little money, and as a result of that, they have to stay longer. So they don't get to enjoy what you're saying right there. You can do that because your salary is increased and you're getting a high salary already, so you can do that. If you're not in Parliament, where are you? You're not like in Roseau in an office somewhere, You can be at your home. You can be chilling. You can say, oh, let me go on like a vacation and stuff. And when they are Parliament, we come back and decide, okay, let me write up something and bring forward, which it seems like that's what you did. So,
of course, you can expect more from Secret Bay. They're not finished yet. Mr. Speaker, this sort of news I love to hear. Because, again, my favorite word, it starts with J, is what? Jobs, Mr. Speaker, are opening up.
Where are the jobs opening up?
And we have to be ready, Mr. Speaker, to seize those
We have to be ready. They don't open yet, but they go, okay.
moments. And also permit me to just say thank you to all of our funding agencies, our governments and partners who confidently come to our aid and our assistance as we help to build our country. We want to say thank you to our funding partners. And
okay, I think she's wrapping up here, guys. I think she's wrapping up. Let me see.
About, I don't know, something about little people or whatever. The little people have plenty to offer, and we are grateful for them, Mr. Speaker. The little that they have, they give. So,
okay, guys, I think I'll stop it right here. It says 2 hours and 30 minutes I'm going for. So I have 3 minutes remaining. Let me read what you guys have said. Mr. Lex, I want to send another super chat, but I want you to give the money to DJ Hothead tomorrow. Why don't you just give it to him when you meet him? If you meet him, you can give it to him, bro. Anyways, Jerry Nelson, hélas, Dominica, sad times. Yes, when you listen to her, it's not like you get encouragement or something is happening. It's like you just get the same set of rhetoric, the same talking points that they have been saying before, of nothingness. What she's saying is pie in the sky promises until it land on earth. She talked about the marina. She talked about a number of things, helping build the tourist sites and this kind of things there, or advancing them. That's nice, no doubt about it, but it is not done yet. So we cannot be happy about what is not done yet. We can only be happy after it's done. All the things you said that's for advancements is nice, but the implementation of it is key. Why do I say this? Because when you look at what Melissa was saying about the excitement about Roseau Advancement Project, that still has not been done. In fact, Roseau got worse. With Soso, when I was talking to Soso, Glenroy Soso Coffee on Roseau Central, he indicated to me there are 199 empty lots, including those of abandoned houses. 199 lots in the capital city of Roseau. I did a video of Mr. Henry Shillingford going around Roseau, identifying businesses in the heart of Roseau, empty places in the heart of Roseau, dilapidated conditions in the heart of Roseau, the capital city. So when you're saying these things, it's not like we are not fond of these things. We are very fond of what you're saying. True, yes. But do we believe you? That is the question. And we don't. When you look at Portsmouth, what have you seen elevated in Portsmouth so far? What? I mean, people can be all over the place looking at Portsmouth and saying, but with Portsmouth looking worse, man. People have come down from overseas and saying they cannot believe this is how Dominica has come. So if you're trying to make Dominica seem like it has elevated, people have eyes to see. And when people have eyes to see, they can tell if you're lying or not. Brothers and sisters, this is where I'm going to end the vibrations right today. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. I would appreciate that if you have not thumbs up this video yet. Please do so as well. Dominica Vibes, I want to tell you I appreciate for the super chat right there. Big up yourself one time for sending a little something to the vibrations. Even though you say DJ Hothead, you seem like you're targeting DJ Hothead for some reason. I don't know who is Arto, but hey, big up on that vibrations right there. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the vibrations. And any last words you guys have to say right there? Let me see. No, I don't want to meet him in person. I afraid hot. Okay. Well, if you afraid him and it's me you want to give him, well, you have to brace. Where we come from, we brave people. You have to embrace that bravery that you have inside of you. And you have to go and check DJ Hothead. When I'm hungry after hours is Glanville opposite Bang Bang. I just go for food. Where's Bang Bang? You talking about drive-by? But there are other places open as well. I was surprised. Yeah, they are open because they're trying to make a little money. And sometimes these businesses are open because they open late. Some businesses open at 12, some businesses open at 4, some businesses open at 5. So, and sometimes they don't even stay that long. Some of them, they just open at that time. There's a particular business I'm thinking of, and sometimes I don't even know when they open. When they open, you have to drive by them to see if they open or not. If they close, then hey, tough luck, you know. But it is what it is, guys. Yeah, bright and creamy, definitely bright and creamy in that regard. Anyways, guys, like I indicated before, don't forget don't forget to thumbs up this video, like this video, guys, and of course subscribe for more vibrations as they tend to come forward. I think maybe tomorrow or the next day I will be dropping a snippet of the previous podcast that I actually did, and that would be on Glenroy Soso, a snippet of it that will connect back. So if you guys missed that, you get to see a little snippet from time to time right there. I think I need to do this more often after I create, because I see the other individuals involved in podcasts. That's what they tend to do. Take out snippets and put it in from time to time. Oh, you just sent another one. Big up Dominica Vibes again. Great at discussion tonight. I learned a few things. On a whole, Dominica need to be more business friendly. Yeah, not just business friendly, but Dominica needs to also have the capability and the capacity to handle entrepreneurs or small businesses. Because one thing when you have, small businesses, another thing when you don't have the capacity to handle these small businesses. You don't have the spending power, you don't have the population size, you don't have these things to not just create entrepreneurship for one small business, but several of them right there. And of course that will also help in creating jobs, but you need the spending power of the population and the population for that to happen. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for being on this year one with me. 2 hours 30 minutes, that's the longest I've ever done so far. But I appreciate you guys for definitely stopping by, and of course tune in for more vibrations as they tend to come through. I might do another one later on, depending on what is being stated. The reason why I did this because a number of persons were calling me and saying, Mr. Leaks, what do you think about this? So I just decided to do a reaction on her full section right there. Anyways, guys, like I indicated before, click the thumbs up button, subscribe, and turn on that post notification. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video right there. Be real, brothers and sisters.